At my age, you're doing more reflecting than you are, looking down the beams of your headlights.
Mississippi phone booth in the middle of the night.
My father was a storyteller. I think that's where I got a fondness for telling stories.
Bugs flying everywhere, crazy in the gas station light.
And she'll call me, when she's had a bad gig or, and I kind of talk her down off the ledge.
Hello.
How are you, Jan?
Yes, I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thanks. You look well and healthy.
And you look healthy as well. Great.
Hanging in there.
I'm actually sitting here in Hilversum in the Netherlands. You are in Nashville, Tennessee at the moment.
Yep.
And this is your living room, it's the rehearsal room?
It's my workroom, studio, where I write and make demos and so on and so forth.
When I look at the start of the video, all the lilacs in Ohio, I see you smile in the beginning, a big, rich smile.
It's just we had so much fun. We were having so much fun,
All the lilacs in Ohio, there you go, in the city streets in the dirty winter snow. All the lilacs in Ohio, Ohio.
In one of the stories that I read about the latest album, you were talking about the overwhelming feeling of being in RCA Studio A. What was so overwhelming about it? I see the guy behind you and he was recording in that same studio, but...
Well, there you go. That's it in a nutshell. I mean, the X marked the spot. There was an X that's been on the floor since back in the day with tape, some kind of old tape. So just that, was pretty awe-inspiring. And the room is a very special feeling. It's an old-style American recording studio, and it has all the qualities that were great about older American recording studios. The room was kind of thought of as an addition to the sound. It wasn't acoustically perfect so that it had no character, which is what kind of the approach that's taken today. They take all the room out of it so that they can manipulate the sound after the fact. And back in the day, it was about capturing a sound that was bigger than the sum of the parts. And the studios had a big part to play in.
So you pin her handkerchief to clean white linen sheets, and you unmake your bed and crawl in.
Can you explain to me what the essence of working with a guy like Jerry Douglas for you is?
Jerry is a virtuoso who can play, I don't know, they play jazz, he plays, he's a schooled musician as well as self-taught. He plays, he sings with his instrument. That's the way I like to think of it, much like Rye and Sonny. It's like working with another singer. And his band, they're all the same type of player. They sing the song with their instrument. Even when they're off improvising, they're always referring back to the song, the melody, what the song's about, the lyric and the melody. Those kinds of musicians, when you find some, it's wonderful to play with those kinds of players.
I'm in Nashville, I'm sorry. I guess I really dropped the ball.
You call your latest album Leftover Feelings. Is that a metaphor for something?
Well, I didn't name it. Jerry named it, but I thought it fit. At my age, you're doing more reflecting than you are, looking down the beams of your headlights. So that it's like a travelogue in some aspects, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Ooh.
There's some things you can't come back from. If there's some things you won't go through.
There is a sticker on the album that says lyricist and storyteller John Hiatt.
Yeah, I that's nice. Yeah,
it's really nice.
I didn't know they were going to do that. But I like that. My father was a storyteller. I think that's where I got a fondness for telling stories. He used to gather us. There were 7 of us, and he used to gather us around in the evening, and he had this imaginary family called the Weenie family, and it was just us. But we'd go on these grand adventures, you know. He had been in Alaska, for example, during World War II, so he'd take us up to Alaska and we'd see mastodons and frozen tundras and mountains, and we'd meet all these perils and do all kind of brave acts and protecting each other and surviving, and it was always a happy ending, you know.
Great father.
Yeah. I didn't get much of him. He died when I was young, but the little bit of time I got with him was pretty special.
And you're dancing by the radio in some hotel room in my mind.
One of the songs that you once played in the 2 Meter session was Georgia Ray, a song that you wrote for your daughter. And
yes,
I received a
youngest.
CD of Lily Hyatt last year.
I hear she's pretty good.
I hear she's pretty good, yeah.
Her arms are open, wide-eyed and hoping somebody could give it.
We talk a lot about navigating the music business thing, like touring, the trials and tribulations of touring, keeping your wits about you, how to survive on the road, you know, those kinds of things. And she'll call me, you know, when she's had a bad gig or, you know, and I kind of talk her down off the ledge. I've had many bad gigs. They're never as bad as you think they are. Did the audience cheer? Yes. Did they bring you back for an encore? Yes. Well, then it was great.
When your back's against the wall, just turn around and you will see.
When I have a look at all the CDs that you produced, do you still count them? Do you still look at your work as...
No.
That is a
God,
huge...
no.
No?
No, who's counting? It's diminishing returns, Jan. I'm counting on today. I'm counting on right now with all my heart. Yeah.
Have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me, baby. Have a little faith in me.
But you do see that you produce quite a lot of work.
Well, I mean, I just see it as it's what I do and what I've done. We've had these discussions since I was 11 years old. It's what I was put here to do for whatever reason and for whatever value that holds. It's important to me. So, yeah, it's, you know, so in that respect, it's just, to me, it's just, it's what I do. It's a huge part of who I am. And as long as I can write another song, I'm okay with myself.
Mississippi phone booth in the middle of the night. Bugs flying everywhere, crazy in the gas station light.
Thank you very much for now.
Jan, thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I love all the reel-to-reel tapes behind you there.
Yeah. And there is some John Hiatt stuff.
Well, thank you.
Still in it over here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you again.
We're going to be coming to Europe in this next summer.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Cool.
That's
Cool.
the plan.
Thank you very much for now.
Thank you, Jan. Pleasure.
Flat black 84 Camaro, running up from New Orleans.